Welcome to Monave. We're here in the studio with Lindsay, who's a singer-songwriter here in Baltimore, Maryland. She's a poet, and she's volunteered her face. And I just asked her how old she was and got permission to tell you that she's 66, and we all said no way. Because you definitely don't look your age, not that age really, who knows, you know, it's all about how you take care of yourself. But I wanted to provide some advice on how to apply foundation, especially in color on the eyes for mature women. You know you're not mature, right? So one of the dilemmas that women face after a certain age, and I'd say it actually starts around the age of 35, is dryness. And it partially due to harsh cleansers, partially due to dehydration. But as you age, it definitely becomes an issue whether or not you can use a powder on your skin. So we're going to do a cream foundation on one side and the same color in powder and see which one Lindsay likes better. So let's start with that. So my original idea of what her coloring was Sandra. So I tried Sandra on her skin and it was too yellow. And I won't subject you to watching that. But so then I moved into the pinker tones and found that Amy was too dark. So actually Lindsay's in our light range. So we're gonna try some Ashley. And if it's too light, then we'll blend Ashley and Amy together. So even though Lindsay looks like she's yellow, she's got a lot of pink in her skin. So we're gonna start with Ashley. And we'll start with the powdered version. Now Lindsay likes to cover up her spots with concealer. So we're going to I'm going to show you what it looks like without concealer, and then we'll add it in a little bit later. Normally you do the concealer first, but I want you to see what kind of coverage you can get just using the powdered mineral foundation. So we'll go back to our spray, and we're going to spritz our brush. Again, we like to have that nice moist treatment on the brush. So we're going to spritz it. You can do that with water. From our last video we learned you can do that with water or with hydrosol, like floral water, like rose or lavender. You always tap off your brush, make sure you don't have too much on there. Okay. And then let's see if I'm right about this color. Let's see if it'll work.
Face more towards the camera.
This is a good fit. It's just like I thought, it's a little bit too light, so on the other cheek we'll probably blend a little Amy in there, or a little Sandra. You can see it's a little lighter here than here, and partially that's because of age spots. So we'll let Lindsay say if this is too light when it's all said and done. But as you see, I've covered up most of the spots that normally someone would say, oh, I need a concealer for that. Those have been covered by the powder. So our loose mineral foundation has a lot of coverage, and you may not need all those extra products. Now for a mark like this, we may go ahead and use a little bit of our cream to powder concealer in there. But most foundations I find, especially powders, don't have very good coverage, and then you have to use a concealer. Our goal with our product is that it's an all-in-one, and it just keeps things simple. So it has a lot of coverage. Okay, now I'm going to get under your eyes, so if you can just look up for me. And I'm going to roll the brush again, like I showed you with Shauna. And tip your head down a little. And then turn your head towards the camera. Very good. And now look up and keep your head down. Alright. See? And we're just getting up under there very gently. Now close your eye, and again we're going to use the foundation as the lid primer. It adds your sunscreen and gives you a primer before you put your eyeshadow on. Okay, so we're going to get your opinion, Lindsay, on whether you think it's a good match for your skin tone. If it's a little too light, we can blend another color in.
To me it looks fine.
Okay. I'm going to probably add a little bit of Sandra into the other side so you can see what it would look like if we darkened it a little. Because you may start to get darker in the upcoming season.
I definitely do.
Yeah, so you have a little yellow, so I'm going to tap a little Sandra into your mix. If you were going to mix Ashley and Sandra together, I'd say it's really seasonal. If you're getting towards the middle of the summer, you may need more of the Sandra and less of the Ashley. Okay. Vice versa. If it's just the beginning of the season, you would just use a touch of the darker one. So that's the powdered example. And now we're going to do what we did the last video with Shauna under her eyes, is we're going to mix a little bit of the cream right into the foundation. So you can take any moisturizer and mix your foundation into it. And if you are in between two colors, you do need to blend your colors together first and then put your cream into your container. And let's just see how that looks. It's a little bit darker. And we're just gonna use our fingers. I believe in fingers, some makeup artists don't. I'm a finger girl. And we'll just spread this around. Anywhere that you want sunscreen and coverage is where you want to put it. And definitely you want to get your nose area. A lot of people don't realize how much sun you get on your nose. When we're talking about sunscreen and sun protection, that's a very important area. A lot of women who end up getting melasma taken off of their nose is because they don't really realize they need a sunscreen on there. And we're going to take our cream and just dot it on any blemish that we see. This may not provide as much coverage as Lindsay wants, but we're going to start off with a layer of just the cream foundation on there. So this is going to be a slightly more dewy complexion than the other side, and we'll see which one you like better. But as you can see, there's more golden tones in here because I added a little bit of the Sandra, and it's picking up on the golden tones of Lindsay's skin. And then we'll dot a little bit more up here. Again, you want to take your forehead into consideration when you're putting on your makeup because you definitely want to get as much summer protection as you can on your skin. And heat and other things, pollution, there's a lot of things that are affecting your skin. But so if you want a tinted moisturizer, this is how you would do it. You just mix it right into your cream. You can mix it into the palm of your hand. You can put it in a little container, whichever is easier for you. And a nice application tool, if you don't want to use your finger, is a sponge. The sponge will give you a really pretty. Okay, so this is creamy, and this is dry. And
Look straight at the camera.
We'll let Lindsay decide which one she likes better. Okay. Do the two sides of your face feel any different?
Feel the moisture on this side.
Mm-hmm. Does it feel heavier? This side feels lighter?
Yeah, this side does feel lighter, this does feel heavier.
Mm-hmm. Which do you prefer?
I think I prefer this side.
Yeah, I like it. And I think it probably feels lighter to just have that light powder on your face. Mm-hmm. I think whenever you mix it into a cream, you're going to feel it more. And what women tend to really love about our foundation is that they can't feel it. But if you do use a creamy version, you want to set it with something, either a setting powder, and we have several. You can use Ceramide if you don't want any added color on your face, or you can use the loose powder foundation and just brush it over your skin. Gives it that polished look. Okay. And I'm going to put a little bit on your lid, which I haven't done yet. You want to go ahead and close your right eye. And we'll do some on there. Okay. And we'll put a little bit in here. You can roll it around your nose. See how it rolls? This brush is just so awesome. And now we'll talk about this mark right here and what you can use to cover it. So, if you see the coverage that you have right now, is that sufficient for the marks right here, or would you want something heavier? You want to see it again? Just take a look and see what you think. Would you want more coverage right here?
A little bit.
A little bit? Okay. So we'll use the cream to powder, and we're going to use Ashley again. So this is a formula that's made with metafoam seed oil, organic metafoam seed oil from New Zealand, and it's something that reacts really well to the warmth of your fingers. So you're best off using it with your finger and not with an application tool. Okay. Now we're just going to dot it on and then spread it in. This stuff is intense, so if you want coverage, expect to get coverage from it. We couldn't even get it off earlier when we did a second attempt on it. It didn't want to come off. And when you apply it, I usually dot it on. And then normally you're going to follow it up with a little foundation. Again, when you use a creamy product, you want to set the product. It's a really nice product to use under your eye as well. And just get it into the cracks right there. And then we'll set the foundation on top. And that'll give you that added coverage. It's anywhere that you feel. You can use it on scar tissue, you can use it on under the eye if you've got really dark circles, or if you're going out on a date and you just want to have that kind of cute look that you get when you cover your blemishes. Okay. And I think we're going to go ahead and do a blush, and then we'll stop for a minute and we'll do an eye look afterwards. So Lindsay, typically what kind of a blush color do you wear? A pinkier tone or?
A pinkier tone, yes.
A pinkier tone? Okay. Let's see your hand. Something like that, or is that too light?
That's a little too light.
Okay. How about this one? Something like that? Do you mind shimmer?
Shimmer's all right.
As long as it's not too much, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so this blush color is number 215, which I want to say is Star Lily, but sometimes I get the names mixed up. And as I explained in the last video, you can use our blush with a blush brush or with a bronzer brush. So I'm using a bronzer brush with Lindsay's skin because I want a little bit more control over it. You do lose elasticity as you age, and so if you don't want to be fooling with your blush too much, I'd say use a bronzer brush because it's a little heavier. I'm starting her blush in here and pulling it out towards her cheekbone. So now we're just starting again in on the cheek a little bit. We're not doing the sculpted look here. It kind of doesn't fit her face shape. So we're starting in on the cheek a little bit because Lindsay's got more or less a round face, and we're not trying to create cheekbones. When you do your blush here, it's when you're trying to create a cheekbone. We're just following the natural contours of her face, and the blush is just giving a flushed look, a healthy glow. That's really what we're going for. We're not trying to contour with a blush. Some people use blush as contour, and we're not going to do that in this case. Okay, take a look at it. Make sure you like it.
Oh yeah, that looks nice.
Pretty, right?
Yeah, that looks good.
Okay.